How are you? How are you feeling today?
I'm so happy. I'm in such a good season in my life.
I know how tough it is for me being a former sportscaster not being there. How about as a former athlete not being at the Olympics?
There's definitely a lot of mixed emotions, Robin, when it comes to me watching it. There are obviously some tough times and moments that are hard.
Once considered the fastest woman in the world.
It'll be Marion Jones against Debbie Ferguson. It's the U.S. against the Bahamas.
The five-time Olympic medalist, Marion Jones, a household name during the 2000 Sydney Games. Had any daydreams about winning the 5?
Oh my gosh, every hour of every day.
But from her greatest successes came a doping scandal that ended her competitive career.
And so it is with a great amount of shame that I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust.
Now from her darkest days to the hope she shares today with others through coaching and mentorship, all while proudly living life on her own terms, revealing this truth last month on TikTok.
That I do identify with the LGBTQ community.
Where did you find the courage to let people know that part of your life?
I didn't realize it was a thing, really, right? I'm gonna tell you, I have been away for over a decade from the spotlight and have been living my true and authentic self. And again, it was my time to just finally be done with the mask and the disguise. And again, it was purposeful. I hid certain things at certain parts of my life because I thought at that time that's what I needed to do.
The all-around athlete made news wherever she went. We followed her journey on ABC News.
Have you ever taken any type of sports performance-enhancing drug?
In the midst of her tumultuous fall from grace. 2 decades later, Marion's gearing up for her second chance. 2008, you're convicted of lying to prosecutors about the use of performance-enhancing drugs. First woman to win 5 track and field medals in a single Olympics. And people want to know, do you feel you could have achieved that without the drugs?
The answer is very easy for me, 1,000%. I was blessed with just an enormous amount of talent, but knowing that it didn't need to happen the way that it did always will stick with me as a moment that is hard.
At first, the athlete adamantly denying the allegations.
Trust me, if I had had a positive test, you guys would have known.
Then years later, confessing to taking steroids. Consequences followed. Marion stripped of her 5 Olympic medals.
We disqualified Marion Jones from the 5 events she participated in Sydney.
Marion later serving 6 months in prison for lying to federal agents about using steroids and for her involvement in a separate check fraud case. You've been out of the spotlight for so long. Why come back now?
I needed to step away. I needed to step away to reflect why certain choices were made, now what, and then now moving forward. When I was in 49 days of solitary confinement, right? And I was sitting there saying, okay, Marion, right?
What got you through in those darkest moments?
I had moments, Robin, where I didn't know what tomorrow would look like for me. This idea that my mom, who came to this country from a small, beautiful country by the name of Belize with these hopes and dreams for her kids, and I was not going to allow my poor choices to waste her dream. Right? Like, again, you could allow all of this to just put you under, or you can use what your mom has always said about you, that you're something special and that you're unique. And how are you going to use your life, your experiences now to help people?
Now Marion's embarking on a new initiative for entrepreneurs, coaching them through life and business mentorship, plus fitness training.
Although many people cannot relate to being an Olympic athlete, an Olympic champion, a convicted felon, everybody can relate when it comes to failure in their lives. And so not only do I coach and teach and mentor entrepreneurs on how to pull themselves up when they're dealing with stuff, and how do you create balance with all of it. I'm loving it. I'm so passionate about it.
With a renewed spirit, the mother of 3 proudly watches the games and no longer looks back at her past.
I love sitting with my daughter and watching Simone Biles and all the rock star female athletes that are there right now. I think a lot of people are surprised when I say that when I watch the games, like it's happy moments that I relive.
What do you think people can learn from your story and personalize it for themselves, whatever their something may be?
I would hope that when people see my story, ultimately, they say, you know what? Yeah, she went through some stuff. A lot of it because of her own choosing and her own choices, but she didn't stay there. And she didn't allow it to ultimately consume her. There were poor choices, Robin, that were made along the way, but I put in work and I sacrificed, and the moment for me can never be taken away.